thing. Hello.
Are we?
We should be
here?
live. I'm worried that our I'll just say that to anyone that's watching right now. I'm worried about our internet. It seemed like it was just the place we are in the shop. It seemed like it was teetering on the edge of low. So if this is too choppy or unwatchable or whatever, then just say something and we'll try to roll on over.
We are.
Seems fine now. Everything's green. What, you're worried?
It was fine, and then it got choppy again. We all know that I don't have any idea what's going on, but the little box on the lower right is now green instead of red.
Green is good.
Green means go.
And we've failed. We've fixed our audio. We had some audio silliness last time or whatever. So I think that I've tightened that up a little bit. Oh, except for that one. That was probably a clipping. It went red. It went red when I did it.
Grossest sound ever.
It was just me going. Okay, so this is Quittin time, and it's the end of the day on Thursday. It was 70 degrees today, which is crazy. We rode
And
motorcycles.
what degree will it be tonight?
Didn't. Oh, 25 or something.
So can anyone guess?
Your head is exploding.
Yes.
Which is the reason you're choosing not to drink
Correct.
today. So you had some headache issues earlier, and that's normally the premise of the show is we go as long as Nicole's drink lasts. And today we're just going to go, what'd you say, 45 minutes, an hour? We're going to aim for somewhere in there?
It'll be about an hour and 4 minutes at this point.
Okay, about an hour.
A very specific alarm was
Gotta
set.
go. A hard out, as they call it in the biz. Okay, so we have some things to talk about. We are here in the we got Flat Cap Cafe Racer said looks and sound good. Thank you. Hopefully
we appreciate that.
Continues to be that way. The bike to Nicole's left, stage right, is the brand new color of the V85 that just came in this week. Is that right? This week? Last week I was sick.
You weren't here.
Speaking of, I didn't give my apologies for my voice sounding congested and my constant sniffles or whatever, but I have been, not handling this up and down weather, and it made me feel sick. I even took a COVID test, which was negative, and that's hence why I'm here. Look at your face. Ooh, are you sure?
This is why I'm all the way back here.
Come on. And so anyway, that came in here when I wasn't here. Or maybe I came in later that day. I can't remember. But the brand new blue V85, very nice. We're also in front of the V100 sign again because we got word that those have shipped to us from the warehouse in Texas. So I can't see you, so I'm just checking, are you still here?
I am on the screen as well.
Am also here. Oh, there she is. And she's making faces at me. And then,
I have to make sure I remember that you can also see me on the screen because I am behind you. So, whoops. We all know that I have zero poker face.
Okay, so those are the things that I was going to announce is that some of the very first people that ordered their V100s are going to get them, we believe, as early as next week. They'll be in here, and you'll pay attention to our social media. I'm going to do a YouTube video. I'm going to do probably multiple YouTube videos, an unboxing, and that's on a brand new bike is do an unboxing and then do a ride. And so you'll get the unboxing a little bit before the ride, of course.
The ride video is called In the Loop. Yeah, so if you are unfamiliar with our channel, 99% of the videos are Dylan's In the Loop series. So if you're looking to figure out, if you like a certain model of motorcycle, there's probably an In the Loop about it.
Yeah.
If we carry it.
If you're on this channel, I'm worried because things went back into the red, but it seems like fine. I don't know. Everything is fine, I hope. That's when I do the high pitch, it means please help me.
Oh, yeah. It looks...
Fine? Copy?
Fine. I was actually also...
Positive?
I was also reading what people were saying in the chat.
Yeah, don't forget that. I can see it pretty good.
Oh, no.
Someone says
Someone said frozen.
So maybe we should... do you think we should try to roll ourselves over there?
It's not frozen for Aaron, and Aaron is a little bit, not in the sticks, but far away from internet sometimes.
I don't know what Roland says. Oopsie. Does that mean our internet wasn't working or we're not good? I don't know if it's our oopsie or someone else's oopsies. Anyway, I guess I'll just continue.
Oh, there it goes. There's the frozen. It's just really delayed.
Do you want to scooch over towards closer to the internet?
Sure.
Okay, so what I think we should do, the way that I think we should do this, we can only go as far as this cable, but I think you should try to move the chair and then maybe my chair, and I'll just kind of try to keep the show going. The show must go on, as the kids say. Breeze line, I'm not sure what that is. Is that a famously bad internet or something? Yeah, try that, and I'll go with you. So be careful of your cords on my side. Oh my God, this is the scariest thing I've ever done. I wanted to keep going until we got like one more bar. You can still keep going. I wish you wouldn't have put that chair there because it's kind of like in the way. Oh, good. Are we still fine? What a good team we're making.
Okay, stop.
Okay. All right, so I'll continue talking here. Hopefully, someone said it's choppy. Aaron says it's getting choppy. I'm all green now that we've moved, so hopefully that makes things a little bit better. Yeah, we just got a huge boost in cell or signal or whatever it's called. Wi-Fi. What do they call it these days? Wi-Fi. So if you could grab my chair, Nicole, because I'm tied to this computer, and then we will. Hopefully, if you guys tell me that now that there's probably a delay on all this, so I'm seeing your comments come in about, oh no, the things were bad. So if they've gotten better, please let me know after you hear me say this. On like an uneven surface. Hopefully I don't fall. Okay, so yeah, choppy. Hopefully we're not choppy now. This is a weird view, and also I think we got Brandon back in the back. It's funny because he's working, so you'll get a little live stream treat. Did you need something?
More. There we go. All right.
I'm stuck now against our gloves. Mo better. Okay, thank you for live troubleshooting, everyone. We all did it.
Better.
The craziest thing, by the way, Nicole, is that you and I were able to move this communicating while I was babbling. That's crazy. So, yeah, you got behind the scenes. We're literally seeing the scenes. Okay.
Fantastic.
So hopefully
Thank
we
you.
remain in the green the rest of the time. The problem is where we always like to do it, like over there, is actually probably the worst internet in the shop, Wi-Fi wise, and running a cable is also another nightmare. So it just happens that way. So hopefully from now on we're good with Wi-Fi. It seems fine. I'm just keeping an eye on things down at the bottom. So thank you for everyone bearing with us. What were the things that we had just talked about we wanted to talk about during this episode?
Build Train Race applications have been opened, are currently still open, and close on Sunday.
So let's take one big step back, and that I'm sure we talked about it on here before, and probably most people would know what this is. But Build Train Race.
I don't think either of those things are true.
Build Train Race is a program that Royal Enfield does for only women at the moment. As far as I know, it's only been done for women, and it's maybe the third year. And they do flat track racing, so that's in the dirt, and then they do road racing, so on the road surface and on a track, and they do the GT on the track, and they do the Interceptor on the flat track on the dirt. And so far it feels like we have one. We actually have been very lucky. We have one of each woman
What
each.
syntax is that?
One woman each interested in each one.
We have a woman rider who is interested in both versions, one each.
Yeah, each. That's all I want to say is that it's not one, it's two. And so if anyone else is interested in that, please let us know. But it's a cool program. There's plenty of videos online, but there's not a lot of information, sort of what goes into it, what's involved, what's asked, what are they asking for from the participants, the riders. But there have been some pretty famous people that have done it in the past, and you get a lot of hands-on professional instruction. Can I like squeege, is that a word?
No.
This over towards you? There we go.
Sure.
And then you go
Okay.
over more to your left. All right, because I just ran out of room. Oh, yeah, now I'm comfortable, finally. Aaron's asking about the temperature drops. Oh, yeah.
I'm going to explain
Don't get
this.
Nicole started on
I
this.
have already committed
Don't
to
get
the
her.
explanation. Okay, Aaron. The barometric pressure changes, goes ups or downs, goes up or down when the temperature changes. So there's a big swing from about 70 degrees to like 19 degrees. Mm-hmm. What's required for that to happen is pressure change in the atmosphere. Some of us on this planet are plagued by reacting to that. And
You
that
have
swing,
an app. You have an app that tracks the pressure changes, and the pressure changes are the biggest one. So they literally put pressure on your sinuses, or you actually get like swelling in your head.
I
and
have
your
an
face.
inner ear problem.
Yeah,
because
so
my
if you,
eardrum is
especially
broken.
inner ears are what's affected. Your your balance, your whatever, the ocular pressure. There's a lot going on in your head that is very dependent on the pressure. And the funny thing is, if you live in a place where it's very stable, or honestly, for me, I think you maybe have experienced this more, but for me, it's gotten worse as I've gotten older. When I was young, I was like, this is not an issue. But as I've gotten older, it's gotten worse. And I feel like if you're also in a place where the temperature is stable, Arizona, the pressure, the temperature is very rarely changing.
Stability is definitely part of it, but so the interesting thing I found is even changing elevation can do it sometimes. So like when I'm riding through the mountains, like high elevation changes, that'll even do it. It makes my ears pop.
In that way, I guess the easiest way to explain it to Aaron or someone else that doesn't feel like this is a thing or hasn't noticed it, it's like right when you're in a plane, is you feel that intense pressure and then your ears pop, that kind of thing. It's like that on a sort of a different level or a much more gradual level. So suddenly you wake up.
Yes, for everyone else, it's a gradual thing.
Whatever.
The people who are affected by barometric pressure tend to have a start and stop rather than a flow, which is what you all usually have. You
and I have had a lot of problems with it in the last couple of years, and we are taking like Excedrin, essentially. It's an ad for Excedrin. I did my own kind of research, and it's called a barometer. It's right, and she has an app called Barometer, and I'm joking, it's not called that. It's
called WeatherX,
and it's about pressure, and it specifically measures the pressure and says, hey, here's a warning, the pressure is going to change dramatically. So mostly that's what you care about, not that it went down or up. And it seems to me like the changes around freezing are the worst. So if it goes like tonight, for example, we're 70 degrees today, and then we go below freezing, we go to 28, I think I said earlier. And so that is a big bad one for the headache, for the old noggin.
Yeah. So this is the same, very similar thing to people who say like their knee tells them it's going to rain. It's very much like that. Like I can feel when way before the app even tells me it's going to rain today, or it's going to be very windy, or anything like that, because I can feel it in my joints as well. I'm just more attuned to it than most people are.
Well, and the joints is pressure, and I use my last, I always say my last real job, but my last real job, I did websites for a joint supplement company, and there are actually, if you know people who have a condition called bursitis, there are bursus sacs in your joints that are sacs of like joint fluid, and that is why you feel sometimes that's why you feel pressure in it can get a little gross. Sorry, this is going to be you guys didn't know this is going to be a medical podcast,
but essentially I am not allowed to go like diving. Like I can't go past snorkel level because my inner ear does not adjust the pressure.
I didn't inspect your waiver enough.
Right. One of the questions, if you
I can snorkel, yes.
I can snorkel. It's uncomfortable if I go too
I
deep.
Can't snorkel. We're getting off track because we haven't talked about motorcycles hardly at all.
Honestly, though, it is something that affects me from a motorcycle standpoint because my face will swell, my helmet fits differently. I get dizzy, so I have to like prepare transportation if I've ridden a motorcycle. So a lot of times when the weather is really nice in the winter, I can't be riding because I feel like garbage, and it doesn't make it very enjoyable for me to ride.
Yeah, so I don't know who Bruiser 55. Do we know who Bruiser 55 is? Do you know who that is? They said they had a present for you. But they said, I hope my head doesn't hurt tomorrow morning. So that's exactly right, is that Nicole's especially more of a morning, her head will hurt in the morning. My head will be fine. It's usually like at night when I feel the worst. But anyway, that's probably all I necessarily need to say about that. But that it's just one of those things that especially affects the two of us. Tony here sometimes is like on the next level, and he'll get like the extreme bad ones. But it's really been bothering. Today was beautiful weather, but yeah, you do have this, like, it's been hurting my head a little bit today.
Yes, the human body is weird.
Oh my gosh.
I could do an entire podcast series about the human body. It's dumb. Why do we have them?
Our dumb bodies with Nicole. Okay, so
let me know if you want that awkward fans.
So here's a fun one that I wanted to talk about. Do you want to try to do our phone thing? Let's do a shuck and jive while I try to do my phone.
What? Here's the funny thing is that
you don't know the industry terms. That means you're supposed to fill the space while I look at my phone and try to look up the thing I was talking about or wanting to talk about.
So, are we going to talk about the new colors of the Interceptor? So did I just jump the gun? Peel your banana.
We went over this in
Skip your
rehearsal.
jack. Start your engine.
This was, what are you saying?
You know, look, if you've met me in person, you know that I don't know any of these like weird colloquialisms. So I just tried to fill the space, the dead air, if you will.
Yeah, that's sort of.
Oh, I'll fill the dead air. This reminds me.
Let's try this real quick. So everybody, your scene's going to change slightly. And oh my God, it worked. Okay. So
while you're
I just didn't expect it to work.
While you're doing that, I'm going to do a personal plug.
Okay. Is that allowed? Do we have to change another scene for that? She's laughing. She didn't read any of your comments yet, but I'm allowed to make the jokes.
This is a family. Is this a family-friendly
No, I don't know why. Of all
stream?
people, Aaron said that, which is crazy. Okay, so yeah, what we were gonna say. Wait, you were gonna do a plug. You were gonna do a plug.
My plug. I'm sure Rainy Rider is not in the viewership at the moment, but I did speak to them earlier.
Might have.
Today.
No, you're right. He's not in there.
I will be doing a live stream podcast recording with him on Saturday.
I believe it was on the calendar as interview.
Yeah, he will be interviewing me.
Saturday, 5 o'clock?
Saturday at 5 o'clock on Rainy Rider's channel. So
the Rain Bros back together again.
yes.
The Storm Clouds.
Yes.
Team Storm Cloud.
Look, if you ever ride with me or you ride with Rainy,
Obviously, that's his name.
you gonna get rained on.
Yeah.
So sorry in advance. But we are going to, he sent me a big list of questions that I'm going to answer. And I asked for the questions.
Gosh, I didn't know that.
It was a mistake.
Do you need help? Do you need to do
I
your
need
homework?
to study.
You need help
I
on
need
your
to
homework?
study because so there's a reason why Rainy's username is Rainy Rider, and there's a reason why my name is Road Warrior.
Mm-hmm.
So yes, I asked for the list of questions, immediately regretted it because now I'm like, I have to know the answers to these questions before I answer them, which we all know I'm better at improv.
I don't think my advice, my on-air advice is don't know it, like memorize it. You want to just have like, I've looked at it, I've thought about it, I've been thinking about it. It's not out of the blue.
There are so many questions.
Oh, wow.
There's like 20.
Well, I guess he's just over prepared. He's a prepared guy.
He is prepared.
Okay. So
anyway, that's Saturday, 5 o'clock, Rainy Rider's channel. He picked a really interesting photo of me.
the squat and Slav.
The squat and Slav, which I explained to a friend earlier this week what the squat and Slav was, and it's a very hard concept.
Like every like Russian or like Belarusian, like they do that in their photos. They squat.
Yes, and it's kind of a inside joke.
Is it 6 p.m. East? I don't think so. Is it? Where does he live? What part of the country? I mean, don't say his address. Don't dox him.
Our time zone?
Is he in our same time zone?
I put it on my calendar for 5 o'clock, so I'll double check.
Who is Bruiser? Do they know, or are they just guessing? We're East. We're still East.
I am so bad with username to real name,
I don't
so
know. Okay, well,
I know one or the other.
We'll figure that. Well, I'll answer that for sure. And Nicole will have updates if you follow Road Warrior Moto on the Instagrams. Okay, so the thing I was going to talk about, and Brad was exactly right. You see the new Thunder and Lightning. So they are calling this. Are they calling these Thunder and Lightning? No, these are actually the back to black. So I'm one ahead of you. This is the Lightning one, which actually, if you follow European stuff, usually a lot of times they'll just come up with like a expedition model of the Himalayan, and it's nothing but a like pre-prescribed set of accessories. So it's not a new model, but what I wanted to talk about was a new model. So this is me showing off the new technology that I promised last time, which is, you can see my phone on there in real time. So these are new colorways that they've introduced in Royal. This is the official Instagram account of Royal Enfield Europe, and I know Nicole is way into this because she loves black. She doesn't like chrome. She's not a chrome person. She likes to have the blacked out stuff. Her lowrider S is mostly blacked out. All your bikes are black, but that's your thing.
They are,
that's
and I really wish the Sportster. I wish I'd put more. And I may still. It depends. I don't know if I keep the Sportster or not. But I don't prefer chrome, and I wish I had done more to de-chrome the Sportster.
Yeah, so that's exactly what these guys have done. So if you're familiar with the Interceptor, standard Interceptor or GT, is so he's saying Rainy is in Central Time. So maybe that's your answer, is that it is 5 for him and 6 for us. I don't know. You'll figure it out off air, or you can figure it out if you want to. But are you trying to message him right now? Anyway,
I did message him, and here's the thing: I am so bad with time. If you are friends with me and I show up an hour in one direction or the other, it's because I don't know what time zone you live in.
Yeah. Well, that's
let
true.
alone,
These are things you didn't used to have to think about. It's.
Well, first of all,
I got friends everywhere.
now yes, these are. Wait, Can we evaluate that statement real quick?
Friends problems.
These are things that you didn't have to worry about before, implying that I didn't have friends.
Since the motorcycle shop, since your rise to fame, you have
My reluctant
awareness developed friends in many locations across the country. Okay, so Royal Enfield Europe has posted these new, and what were they calling them? Back in black, back to back.
That was such a nice way to say I didn't
black.
used to have friends.
You have gotten a lot
internalize
more
that.
friends. That's not what I'm saying. Okay, so anyway, you get these kind of retro colorways, but the big changes are, if you notice, especially the one on the screen, it's funny because it looks mostly black. Black exhaust, black engine. The engine's completely blacked out. If you notice, I'm sure we talked about this, but we had a 120th anniversary GT that my dad got, that
Which
the shop got.
I love.
Yeah, and it's all blacked out. So
it is okay. Here's my exception for chrome that I didn't know
is the
until
black chrome. Yeah.
this bike showed up on our doorstep as a little.
We have a doorstep. I guess we technically do.
As
we
a
have
little orphan GT.
What?
Oh, like little orphan Annie,
What
little
is
orphan
this story?
GT. Anyway, is that I like blacked out chrome, black base chrome.
While you're talking, I'll just cycle through. Go ahead.
Great, and I started to think I might like the black
Visually,
chrome.
I could even probably bring that
with the video that I think you're looking for right now. Once I watched that video, I was like, this could actually be pretty cool. Because it's not that it's... I'm not a huge fan of shiny.
Mm-hmm.
I'm more of a matte black everything. But the black chrome is mirrored. Maybe that's a good way to put it.
They call it something silly like trivalent, whatever. Do you think this is it?
I'm going to go with mirrored. No,
that's the regular chrome.
that's the regular chrome, which is also pretty good. However, totally
What I
an
like
aside,
about chrome is that it's classic because it's not a color, so it doesn't like age.
Yes, but something I think is interesting is that
you have it. I can just look up it.
the reason I don't like chrome on the Sportster is that it looks... Sorry to all of the super chrome fans, is that it looks like you're trying to look expensive, when in reality it's probably not even chrome. It's just...
So, Gina took these
polished.
photos. That's funny. But this was on our Instagram. So Throttle Company's Instagram. This is the 120th anniversary, and you notice the similarities of what I'm talking about. Everything is black.
And it almost looks black. It's the same thing I
this
like
angle,
about
especially.
like a good rainbow metal flake, but black base.
Here's Nicole's world famous photo of that. So it's got a bit of a goldy.
That went over well on TikTok.
Goldy black chrome to it.
I do love the color combination, and this is what I think I like. So your dad also has the anniversary Moto Guzzi
Oh no, the chrome one. Yeah.
with the chrome
many
and
bikes.
the good leather. And those are good choices. What I feel like my Sportster does not have is that classic look.
Yeah, you mean like timeless?
Timeless, yes.
Yeah.
It just first of all, my Sportster had heat shields that were flame designed.
Oh, I know, like chrome, but
And
there were
I
flames in
took them off immediately, and I would 100 times over and over again burn my leg on that exhaust, then have those flame heat shields on there.
Interesting. Okay, so what I just want to make sure I covered this all the way, but these are kind of got a controversial sort of retro style graphics. But I think the important thing to note is that all of these blacked out accessories exist, and those are cast as in tubeless wheels. The tires are tubeless, but you could run tubeless tires with those new wheels. So that's a big, huge, monumental increase for some people. Some people don't care. Some people want the spokes. The look of spokes.
I
is
felt
great.
like I had strong opinions.
Well, you got
I have
flat tires.
I have stronger
Yeah.
opinions now than when
Yeah.
so aesthetically I was very much a spoke wheel aficionado until I Had a flat tire both times coming back from Bro.
Yeah, and I feel
last
like
2
we've
years.
solved it, and it's not necessarily.
My PTSD over
I
that
know,
has
but I
changed
get it.
my opinion.
I remember you called me and you're like, I'm just done with spokes. I don't care about it.
And now the lowrider has
Cast.
beautiful,
the
like
kind of a
slightly
bronzy.
Yeah.
Which
So it's
is
not
great.
gold.
I'm a big gold wheels guy, but the bronze, of course, is like sort of right in that range. But I love that.
It's a good, not even middle ground, but more towards.
It's muted.
Yeah.
Yep, for sure. Okay, so then the other thing I wanted to talk about was these are the GTs. Oh my God, easy for me to say. And so you get
Is
the
that a
blackout.
polished aluminum colored tank on that first one?
Good question. These are all renderings. So is that
so
chrome?
we have
I
no
don't
idea.
know. We
That
don't-
could be matte primer gray. We have no idea.
Both our OEM brands do this a lot, as they just come out with this bike and they didn't have the real one yet, and when they announced it, and they do a rendering, and then when you get it in person, first of all, the blue one was sort of the point of bringing that in here was to say that. I'm not sure you can see it on camera. Nicole did a good video of it earlier, and we're going to do an even closer video. Like I said, the
I took
unboxing
photos
video.
of it today.
I'm going to do an in-depth video on that. I've been promising this for a while, but how to pick a V85 video, and that'll be one of them. But that is a very metallic blue, and none of the photos that they had published previous to this made that seem metallic or shiny in any way. It just kind of seemed
I feel like
matte
the
and
white also looks a little
uninteresting.
bit more pearlescent than the other whites.
Yes, it's maybe because it's next to the blue, but that is a very cool color in person, and the photos that I saw did not have me excited about it, but I'm much more excited about it having seen it. Okay, let's skip through these real quick.
If you were to tell me that bike was going to be red, white, and blue, I would be not super happy about that, even less so than McDonald's.
Mm-hmm.
But in person, and this is what I think I've had with every single bike we have ever gotten, is that the photos, Royal Enfield or Moto Guzzi, have never accurately depicted what the bike looks like.
That's exactly what I'm saying, is that they do a weird rendering thing in it.
But that's also why
I
shoot.
forgot to like this.
That's why we shoot all of
Throttle
the bikes
company.
when they get here.
Yeah, you got to take a photo of it. Royal Enfield's famous for that.
In different
I think Royal
lighting.
Enfield does amazing finishes, but they don't do a good job showing it, and so you have to see them in person. Okay, so the other thing I was going to say on this one was they call it Slipstream Blue on the GT and Apex Gray on the GT. So when they call it Apex Gray, that leads me to believe it's not chrome. That feels like it's a painted gray.
Yes, I would say they would say chrome if it's going to be chrome.
For sure, a polish something.
You
or
would
whatever.
claim that 100%.
Yes. So there you go. So get excited about those. Royal Enfield North America. I'm not throwing them under the bus or disparaging them in any way, but they have not made a peep about this thing that I'm demonstrating it. So you're
Can
hearing more information than anyone has said officially
Can I
about Royal
address a
Enfield.
comment in the comments?
Yeah, please do.
The reason isn't to look expensive. It's to look like something with form. In photography, it's known as contrast. When everything is painted the same, it looks like a blob. I don't know you.
Oh, now you see my background. Oh my gosh, it's so embarrassing.
Why do you have 105 notifications on your bank account?
On the bank account, you get like money was in, money was out. It's update to your credit score. So it's literally more than you could ever like acknowledge. It's too many. They send too many notifications. Sorry. Ruining your completionist views on the world.
Oh yes. Okay.
But that's true about Chrome.
I disagree,
I think that's
though.
an interesting thing about
From both
I don't know who that
directions.
person is, but welcome to the chat, Saddlebag. Hopefully we don't disagree too hard and send you away. But I think that's sort of true. Like, okay, for example, we had a famous one. Let me pull it up because it's so funny.
Well, my
remember-
answer to this question. Or
Can
to
I
this
finish?
No.
Can I finish? Will you let me finish? Can I finish? It's like
We
I'm not
needed
even
like one of those
arguing.
little
We're agreeing.
chess buttons.
Bing. Oh yeah, now you go. Okay, so what I was gonna say is that we on our Throttle company we started doing this post. We have a post which I don't necessarily see. Do you have an easy way of showing that to me? The rainbow one. Anyway, so what I was going to say about the blob, when
That
everything's
was
the
an
same
ad.
color, is we had but somewhere you took a photo of it, obviously. So there's all our demo for the V7 Moto Guzzi is all black. It's black. And so, and we purposely didn't want that one as a demo, but that's just how it worked out.
Yes, a
time-wise.
black bike is a little bit more difficult to
It's tough.
photograph.
Everything's in shadow when it's leaning on its side stand. The
But
engine is in shadow.
My caveat to
Go ahead.
that
I'm gonna keep
is
looking
that
for it.
you just need to use the light to make contrast.
Yes.
and that-
yeah, of course.
that's when I photograph our darker bikes, I just make sure we have lighting contrast and not rely on the bike to provide the contrast. And I get from a super stylized studio-esque sort of like if you're doing more, I don't know, catalog type photography, and I'm more of a lifestyle photographer, that you do rely on the form of the bike to show the shape, but I'm going to use the light and the angle to show the shape. I just don't think that that's an excuse to put a bunch of chrome on a bike.
Yeah, the only thing that I mentioned earlier about chrome, the way that I feel about chrome is this one have it? No, is that it's timeless. It's not paint. Okay, so here's the closest example I have. Wait. Of the rainbow. It's funny because maybe this isn't the best because I'm just like going through my phone. You were doing a fine job of like carrying that conversational weight, but maybe for the purposes of this, it's not the best to be able to show our phone screen. Here it is. Okay, so what I've got now is it's a mural. It's actually, if you live in Columbus or you've seen a lot of our stuff, there is a mural called the Columbus Love mural that says Columbus, and then in the words Columbus in the letters it says love, and then there's at night there's like lights in there that's like a heart. That's why it's called the Columbus Love mural, and it's black and white. So when we brought that all black bike there, I was like, well, it's kind of gonna get hidden in the black background. Is everything okay? And
just so everyone knows, Brandon is currently installing an entire engine in a motorcycle
by himself. So if he makes noises, that's what's happening.
If I run away and go help him, that would be why.
Yeah, if we hear him scream, we gotta go. But anyway, so we didn't want to have black with a black background. It's just like a dark thing, and I thought it would get hidden, especially in an ad that we were running for V7s, or I'm not even sure what, for us, for fun stuff. And so we went and took it it's literally next on the wall further down, and we took it in front of this rainbow. And then the reason I was going to say is famously controversial was there's just a rainbow on the wall. It doesn't say any words. It doesn't say anything positive or negative about rainbows or people associated with rainbows. And we have had a silly comment on that post about like, you need to stop using this woke ass background or something.
Woke ass background. Look,
but we did it for photography reasons. We literally did it because
honestly, I do not care.
Oh, it doesn't matter. I know it doesn't matter, but
look, you're gonna see rainbows in our shop.
They're colorful. People like rainbows.
I can't, without just coming out and saying some things, like, I'm going to use rainbows in our ads even more now. We are an
extremely inclusive business, and but that's not even necessarily the reason why we're doing this at the moment. But it was a black bike, and we needed some color, and we used the most colorful thing I am aware of, which is a rainbow. So anyway, that was a silly one, but sorry to get you all riled up. It's almost as bad as the pressure, bringing up the pressure thing. Can you believe how we've evolved over time? Look, this is our Instagram as we've. That was a real way back there.
Are you saying that it looks bad?
No.
That you just passed the actual Columbus mural there.
Oh, yeah. Well, that was a calendar that we did. But yes, that's the mural that I was talking about. But this is so illustrative to be able to show this stuff. But that is the famous Columbus mural. So it's funny because I often say this to Nicole. We'll switch back to so you don't see my notifications on my bank. But I honestly, a lot of times, like, so when Royal Enfield was first here, there was no dealer in Columbus. So I was like, we need a photo that like says Columbus. And I was like, well, here's one that literally says Columbus. So if we ever need something that it just says like, Columbus, we've got it. Okay. So did we have questions this time beforehand? Do you remember asking about this? Another thing that we're trying to do, and Nicole has been great about this, is we have been trying to schedule the next 2 at least episodes of this show, Quittin Time. So we've got so pay attention if you look at our YouTube channel, which you're obviously on now, but you should be able to see in the future those scheduled events, which is probably the next 2 weeks, but at some point it's not that consistent. So this week I think you have something on Saturday. Maybe you did have last time too. So that we're not doing.
Did you already forget what I'm doing on Saturday?
It's the rainy thing. We just talked about it.
We did
idiot.
just talk about it.
Idiot. I was just trying to be vague, and then I forgot we did mention it.
Yes.
So you have that rainy. Everyone tune in for that if you're usually a Saturday person.
Probably be here.
Oh, sure. We can even
with
use the same
setup
if you need
because
to.
I am not technologically inclined. However, I
You're
thought
doing a fine job. The phone and all the other things. No, you haven't been. It's been a disaster.
I try my best.
You're killing it.
Yes, I am murdering the technology.
Something.
No, so I thought that I was going to be doing it right after we close on Saturday, but
Maybe it's 6.
Rainy did.
We have time.
Yeah. Well, he said that it is 6:48 there right now. So they are. So it'll be 6 o'clock.
He is
Eastern time.
He is a central.
Yeah.
You're mad about it. Whatever. You and that's between you and him. Not that's.
Maybe that'll just give me time to figure this out.
Yeah, we can figure it out.
Anyway, so we did not answer a question that we got last time.
Oh yeah. Okay, go ahead.
And
what
that
was
question,
it? I can't remember it.
I'm actually going from memory. Ain't gonna give us the gist of it, but how do you handle running a business and kind of like working to support yourself? And I feel like you and I don't have a good answer for that.
Let's frame it a little bit more. Do you mean
financially? I believe was
pay yourself?
Yes. I feel like the crux of the question was, how do you like work on your own business while you're working your day job to survive? And I feel like we just jumped in. Our situation's quite unique in the fact that COVID happened literally the week after I quit my day job. And then I started working from home, and we just...
Our business
happened?
Is not this business. This our business, but this Throttle company is not necessarily the archetype for everything, because we got lucky with a few things in that you and I were basically like committed. We just went for it, and at the same time you still did have another job, but then like COVID happened and you didn't have another job, and then at the exact same time my dad shut down his other business and had what we joke as the business kit, which was like all the computers and all the printers and all the other things that we needed. Just was like, here you go.
I'm not trying to brag, but we literally bought all of our computers for a couple $100.
Yeah, we have like 10, maybe more computers, and
they're not the best computers.
No, but they're free essentially. I mean, they were $20 each or something. It was insane. So
we took advantage of not needing anything to be new. The entirety of our first desks, filing cabinets, a lot of the stuff for the shop. We
trash
went around,
cans.
Trash cans.
Yeah.
We literally built from lumber a lot of our fixtures.
So let me summarize that, which was saying that we're not the example in that way, but I have started businesses in the past. My degree is in entrepreneurship, so I feel like I've spent a lot of my life thinking about this kind of thing, and I differ from a lot of people, and my advice is not necessarily great, because I feel like it's sort of overcommit yourself, and if you believe it's a good idea, or you believe in what you're doing and the world needs your thing, then, overcommit and just not accept that it won't happen at any cost. It will happen. You'll have to make it happen. And the advice that I've heard that is good is a CGP Grey thing, which if you've ever seen him on YouTube, he's the famous science explaining videos. What is the UK? What is
my
England?
favorite one is the border between the US and Canada.
Yeah, and like the weird little like sections, like a little square here that didn't get put in and stuff. So he explains a lot of sciencey, political, not political, but like political lines, like boundaries and stuff like that, and then like voting and stuff like that. Apolitical, but explaining voting, if you can imagine such a thing in today's age. But anyway, so he said, do your work for yourself before work. So he was a teacher and was doing his YouTube, and so he would write his scripts and film his YouTube videos and stuff like that before work, because he wanted to give himself his best time. So my brain is the sharpest in the morning or whatever. Mine is not. Then he would spend his time doing that. So that is some advice that I could sort of pass
You're
on.
like a 3 a.m. person.
Oh yeah, and what it really comes down to is I'm easily distracted. You are as well, and so I think it would be nice. Wow, excuse me.
The funny thing about what you just said is I saw a reflection in the window
I was
over
like,
there and thought it was the person. I was like,
So anyway, I was literally being distracted while pretending to be annoyed that you were distracted. So I would suggest that kind of thing. If you know, like me, that you're a 3 a.m. guy, it's just stay up. I know that sounds crazy, and it's not like the best healthy thing, and sort of I'm biasing this towards people who are young and able to just like, because when I was young, I literally could like go into work after 3 hours of work and be like, at least an acceptable level of performance.
You said 3 hours of work, but you mean 3 hours of sleep.
Yeah.
And
I could work all night, sleep for 3 hours, and then keep going. My buddy Levi and I had started a fabrication company, and we were essentially doing that. We would just go there. We would we would say, when you leave work, regular job, we would go home and have an hour for like eat food, let the dog out, that kind of thing, and then go to our other job until like 2-3 in the morning until we like literally couldn't work anymore. Go home, and this is what sort of one of the comments says double shifts, and that's exactly what I'm talking about. And then it was double shift. It was 2 jobs, and then you just go home and go to sleep, wake up at 8 a.m., do it again, and that can be tough. And the burnout thing, it's definitely a real thing. But hopefully the motivation is the passion you have for your thing to keep going.
That is kind of the way that I worked on my previous business. Was I chose jobs that made it so that I could be more flexible. Like I was teaching, so I was only Monday through Friday 6 a.m. to 3, and when I was doing family portraiture and editorial stuff, that's nights and weekends.
Yeah.
So I chose jobs that let me do my business passion job in the time frame that my clients needed that.
Yeah.
So I mean, not everyone's going to be able to. If you're selling things online, you may not need to have a job that lets you have certain hours. But if you're doing retail, like photography, like I was doing, you need to be available when your clients are available. There's nothing you can do to work hard.
You could edit at night. There's things you could kind of shift.
Yeah, and I would edit like during my free period at school and during lunch at school and stuff like that.
Well, it's actually funny to think about it. Like a teacher's kind of, we're talking about CGP Creative as an example. You were talking about doing it too. That's an interesting little spot to be in, because you have a couple months a year that you're not working, and then you have like a very defined, but like most teachers get out by 3 o'clock.
I worked more in the time that I wasn't working as a teacher, like during the summer, so then I worked during the school year.
And you could be one of those teachers where you're like, we're gonna watch a movie, and just like sit down and be like, I'm doing my homework. my
yes,
other side hustle.
When I had students working or students in like lunch hall or any of that, I was working my other job, which was doing photography.
I know you. You're a hustler.
So I didn't necessarily get up and work before work. I would get up. What I did was sacrifice being social. So nights and weekends became when
didn't used to have friends thing.
Yeah, I didn't used to have friends. And I would literally have people meet me at a park after a session to hang out for 5 minutes, because that would be the only time they would see me. Or I would have friends that would literally hire me to take photos of their dog.
Take photos, and they're just like, we're just talking.
One, I think that's if you have friends that have a small business, you should be supporting them as best you can, whatever it is that you can do. I mean this in the way that, like, if you have someone who's working a day job or a night job or whatever the time of day job, side hustle, and has a side hustle, the best thing you can do for your friend is not, and this is what I had constantly fighting against, was people saying, you never hang out anymore.
Yeah.
Well, you know what? They're trying to do something to support themselves.
I'm changing the world over here.
Go after their passion. So, and also, this is just a total aside, but I think that the average small business owner would have the same opinion. Don't ask your friends for discounts if they own a business.
Yeah, well, I didn't want to say that because we do have a business, and our people are watching that are customers. They're the best customers.
I mean, if you have a friend who does photography, friends and family discount is you pay more.
You and I obviously agree on this too, is that, if that guy gives you a discount, awesome. And I do this all the time, where somebody buys something. Maybe I even did it for Aaron the other day when I just was like 10% off. Like, it's just the one I know how to do.
Oh, I want to shower my friends with
but like don't
discounts and free stuff, but it should be coming from them, not
Yeah, this is.
being
It sounds like
requested.
complaining, but actually, it's just sort of a universal thing. I actually don't remember the last time anyone asked us for this.
Yeah, honestly, people don't ask us
Yeah.
for discounts. If they know us, they don't ask for discounts.
Yep.
The interesting thing for me is my general process, because I have, handfuls of friends that own their own business.
Mhm.
And
Oh, yeah, that's true.
what I try to do is tip them more, pay them more, whatever I can do.
Buy their thing.
Buy their thing. Yeah.
Yeah.
So
I don't know. I think people are like this. I think we're preaching to the choir here. I mean, we're talking to a bunch of people who are watching us and hanging out with us just like after work as our show. You know, obviously, I think these are the kind of people who are supporting. You know what I mean? But yeah, Aaron, you do not have to buy a motorcycle. That was a joke.
Oh, speaking of, I feel like 3 of our social media posts today were people who came and bought magnets and asked me where to put it on their tank.
Oh, like your advice.
Yes, my advice.
It's like the metal part.
Aaron, I did respond to you, and it's on the top.
Aaron, is your tank steel? Don't you think his is not? I don't know. If it's somebody else knows this better
It's
than I do.
magnetized. That's
Is
all
it?
I know.
Was it?
Yeah.
It? Oh, okay. So then yes. but
Were you thinking it was plastic?
I thought it was. I thought there was something about the
Moto Guzzi V85
is
tank
not it's not steel. So that's kind of a funny too.
Oh yes, the friends and family discount. Bring me food.
like a snack.
Yes.
Are you just hungry?
Yeah, I'm starving. I have eaten.
Well, that noise that I emitted made me sound bad. I'm apologizing, everyone. I'm sorry.
Look, I will be your best friend. I will lie to you and tell you you're my best friend
What?
if you bring me food.
What the hell? I didn't know this. I will lie. I'll do whatever.
I won't do whatever.
Oh,
I do have limits. I won't pretend the food is good if it's not.
Well, that's what I like about you, and I say it every episode. Your opinions, and sometimes it bites me in the butt
Look,
when they don't align with mine.
fight me.
Okay, did you have motorcycle? I feel like we have veered into.
We have a weird question from Aaron, and I'm going to ask the question, but Aaron, I need you to elaborate. You asked, how does someone organize an event? What do you mean? Do you mean like you would like to host an event at Throttle? You personally would like to host a ride? What is it that you're actually asking? Because
That must have been way back, right? Because I don't see it.
No, it was he submitted it on the story.
Oh, so I wonder what he means by that. Is like, because we've been thinking about this a lot. You know, there's the big event, let's say the biggest event is Babes Ride Out. So Babes Ride Out is a 3-day. It's Friday, Saturday, Sunday, right?
It is Friday, Saturday, Sunday. Yes.
And
anyone who's watching who is associated with the Columbus Litas probably sees it as a Thursday, Friday, Saturday.
Yeah, I know. If you're coming from further away, obviously
Sunday.
it's more of a thing to consider. But it's officially Friday, Saturday, Sunday. So that's like a week-long, essentially, event. The other one that I can think of is AMA Vintage Days. That is a, depending on how you think about it, Thursday, Friday. Thursdays for vendors. So Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. So those are the bigger events. Those are the biggest events sort of in the year. Sturgis is one of those, if you think about that, or Bike Week. You know, the week-ish long events or the weekend plus long events. And then there's events that I've been teasing and talking about this for a while when we've been doing our events, which is I want to do a mini bro, which is just my internal way of talking about it. But I just would like to do a one-day version of bro. Stop by the campground. We're not sleeping here tonight necessarily, but we're going to make you food and we're going to
it won't be
send
at a
you on some
campground.
rides.
It'll be at a park, but it
Yeah,
will not be
you know
at
what
a
I mean. Park is right. I guess I said campground, but I was sort of thinking of them as the same thing. But stop by a park and we'll play volleyball and we'll make some burgers and we'll send you on some rides and routes and everybody will just hang out, but it'll be a encapsulated in one day and that kind of thing. So then
so how do I plan that? Is
and then
the question.
there are so yeah, is it how do we? I wonder if Aaron will answer this. So.
Totally an aside, but he
if I
actually
paid for
asked,
pizza to get delivered, yes, they're very
Yes.
supportive.
yes, anything but olives.
In the healthiest way. So anyway, so I suppose that there are many versions of events, and what I was going to ask for clarification. Oh my gosh, I'm so sick. And so the
I'm
other.
trying to be like far away from you.
You don't have to be far away from me. We
Gonna
talked about
move
it's not that kind of sick. Oh, you're making me feel sick.
Baby,
Anyway.
I'm thick.
Oh my god. So anyway, I was asking for clarification from Aaron, which is, do you mean how would you go about doing it, or what's the process for us doing it typically?
So I'm going to go forward with answering it how I think the question's being asked is, how do I organize something?
Okay.
Because I am
Good question.
an over planner and a worrier. So I will have...
Honestly, I think that's what makes a good event planner person is someone who worries about everything. Therefore, it has been considered.
Yes. And I think that while it is detrimental to me, usually, it is beneficial to all of the other people involved that I worry about things so much.
Yeah.
So...
what did we say? Sorry, I know I've interrupted and you were really getting your momentum going, but I think my dad said that one time that his definition of a business was you employ people to worry about things so you don't have to. Basically, if you're a one-man show, or in our case, a 3-person owning the show, we worry about so much, and then we have someone like Tony who comes in and sets up the bikes ahead of time. Okay, that's off the plate. I don't have to worry about that. We have someone who's making
Are we
sure
only supposed to have one plate?
Yeah, one plate, but there's many things on it.
Because I have that
And then you
like
could be
waiter
juggling the
tray that's
plates.
full of like 14 entrees.
Oh my gosh. Okay, so my point there is that that's I think our sort of forte. That's funny to say because we all are worriers in different ways. We're all our own worrier, but where you do, especially because you attend a lot of events, you've gone to a lot of motorcycle based events. You have opinions, you have thoughts, and so if someone like you has worried, literally in this case, about the details, where's the food going to be? Where are people going to sleep? That kind of thing.
Particularly in this business, has been worrying about the things that the other people have literally never even considered. It has never crossed their mind that this is a thing to worry about.
Oh yeah, so many people. If you've never put on an event, you don't even realize all the little things.
And even then, sometimes I miss things where I'm just like, you know what?
Yeah.
Here we are. So Aaron, to answer your question, start, and I think
Keep going.
Start early. The key is either start early or make every single decision last minute. And here's why.
Okay.
There is
I love this one. Go ahead.
You either have to be intentional in your last minuteness and it just be part of the adventure.
Now you're getting into like the philosophy of it.
Yes, the philosophy of event planning, for sure.
It's either all ahead of time or all at once.
Yes, don't half-ass either direction.
That's funny.
So I either... so sometimes, I mean, I've done very last-minute events that have been so successful.
Yeah.
Because people are like...
Well, that's a good point.
So it's taking advantage of a perfect weather day that we had no idea was going to happen.
We have had some bike nights, or it was a bike day. It was the middle of the day. We're just like, we're having an event, and like a ton of people
it was
showed
like
up 'cause
3
we got
days
lucky.
ahead of time, and
we got lucky.
we had a good we had a food truck show up on that particular day that I actually stole off of someone else's.
You and I talk about this all the time. This is one of my favorite versions of motivation. Back to sort of talking about being my major was entrepreneurship, but I'm a huge fan of like the all-nighter, the big push, like just like if you and I just were like, the weather is going to be like how today was 670 or whatever, but if you were just like, oh, next Friday it's going to be perfect, let's just do our bike night, even though we talked about the first one being in April, let's just do it. And then if we just were like, yeah, everybody's like in, and we all were motivated for it, like we could make something incredible happen. And then it's sort of fun because the pressure is off, because you're like, well, I did everything last minute, so if it doesn't work, it's like, well,
but you can't go into that using the excuse,
of course,
for the reason why it's last minute.
Yeah.
The adrenaline for me on a last minute thing is the motivation.
Yeah.
For that thing.
Well, that's what I mean. I love going for it. You know, you're just saying that we're gonna do it. We're gonna do our best, and I mean it. Yeah.
So I think that just if you're going to do a last minute thing, just be intentional about it. It's not that you are secretly putting off making the decisions about it. And I'm guilty of this a lot too. But and this is a lot of do as I say, not as I do type of things.
You're great.
If you are, so how does Throttle Company decide these things? I honestly sit down and look at a calendar, and I like to say that I infill a schedule. So like if you know your work schedule, you obviously can exclude the days and times that you work. That sounds simple, but I think the first step is figuring out when you can't do something. It opens up a lot of windows. Like if you work 9 to 5, Monday through Friday, you only have nights and weekends.
The negative space.
The negative space, yes. And then I actually, sounds so dumb. I used to work in activity planning in several of my previous jobs, so I have a lot of different methodologies for all of this, but I actually look at motorcycle events in other cities for inspiration about, are you going to have a coffee meetup? Bike nights are pretty simple concept. We're going to be changing up bike nights a little bit this year. More information coming soon.
Stay tuned.
But you just, once you commit to something, you just make, and this is a Dylan phrase, you make that decision once. Don't keep coming back to it and discussing it. So for example, like when we decided that bike nights would be the second Friday of the month, there was an intentional reason for that is no longer relevant, but we've still stuck with it.
Yeah, that's just my basic sort of advice constantly to myself and to us, but about making decisions is that you sort of, there's a time for discussion and then there's a time for action, and if you're, the worst thing I think is, like, say for example some big decision like taking on Moto Guzzi. Okay, we're going to take on Moto Guzzi. Let's have a discussion. And if anyone says no, or if anyone has like a valid reason why they do or don't like it or whatever, like, now's the time, discussion period time. And then later, I don't want to hear you being like once we've decided as a group, yes, I don't want to hear you being like, I never thought we should do it, because that's just so counterproductive.
My view on that is, you can have made a decision and you stick with it, and you're not just going to mull over the same information to change that decision, but you can change the decision if new information is found.
Well, that's
or
true,
feelings
but
change.
what I mean is, like, for example, in an event context, if you had, I feel like I was really reaching on camera, but then I was like, I'm not that close. It's a perspective thing.
I'm far away from you because you're sick.
Okay. So if you had if you decided we're going to have a pizza party, it's going to be a pizza event or whatever, and then like someone's like, I don't like pizza or whatever, and like, okay, but if we all vote, or we all sort of like the deciding process happened, then we can't just be like having this one person in the back just being like, I was the one who voted against pizza. Like, after that, we're all on team pizza and we're making the pizza party happen, regardless of how you felt about it in the beginning.
I think that this is a pretty decent analogy for like why a lot of people hate group rides, is that there's always the potential for there to be a dissenting opinion.
Yeah.
That is either voiced too loudly after the group has decided, or isn't voiced until after the decision has been made and carried out. So when you're planning something, I think that's a good segue to know that the people who are on your team should be people that you can either trust or boss around or delegate.
It's funny when you talk about this, I always think of like The Walking Dead, and I feel like anytime there's like an apocalyptic thing, there's like, okay, I'm the leader, I'm deciding, and there's a lot of things that go into making decisions, and then there's always a guy in the back that's like, well, I think we should have done it this way or stuff like. But that is tearing the group apart. The way that we can work things together is maybe you had maybe you have another opinion, and maybe you were even right, or maybe it turns out later you were right. We should have gone left, and I chose to go right or whatever. But now's not the time. This was the plan.
Interestingly enough, I actually had a discussion about apocalypse teams with my friend the other day.
Who's on your apocalypse team?
So two things. One, it's an interesting point to make that one of the reasons I started getting into motorcycling was my desire to be able to ride a motorcycle in the event, not in the potential event, in the event.
In the future event.
In the future upcoming event of an apocalypse.
Yeah, like driving a stick or making a fire or whatever. Yeah.
And then the other thing is, I was talking to my friend the other day about, I used to get tagged a lot in those who's in your apocalypse team.
Oh, yeah.
Like that trend that was on Facebook or whatever.
Yeah,
and then everyone would comment that it's because I can move shit because I'm strong, but I'm also going to plan all the shit.
Yeah.
And make sure that everyone has a job because I'm going to worry about all the shit.
Yeah.
They're like, usually someone gets just for strength or just, brawn or brains. And it's like, well, you get a 2-for-1 with me.
Yeah. You're the whole package, apocalypse package. Regular life is a different story.
I
but
do
once
not
this
have my
world
shit together.
ends,
I'm your girl. Yeah.
In the future.
Yeah.
Okay. So were you feeling like you wanted to wrap it up, or giving me the old hook?
No, I want to finish
terms.
the rest of Aaron's question because I feel like
he did say this too. So he said, how does Throttle establish their events? So it's funny that you mentioned Distinguished Gentleman. Distinguished Gentleman is a worldwide event, and the group that has it in Columbus, there's a whole I guess it's political. I don't think so, but there's basically a rule established that once a group has it, they have it, and that's Moto Ohio. And so Moto Ohio puts on the Distinguished Gentleman. We just feel like, and a lot of people, this is funny to say because let me be as diplomatic as possible because I really do like Moto Ohio, and they're great.
I'm not sure you're answering this question properly.
No, but I just mean as far as these Distinguished Gentlemen, how do we establish?
No, I know.
You
specifically,
mean events like that?
No, this event specifically.
Yeah, what do you mean?
So the answer is that Moto Ohio has it from a legacy perspective.
Yeah.
We have a team.
We do. Yes, we do have a team because anyone can enter a team.
Yes, and we host a team pre-ride from Throttle Company to Moto Ohio.
You're maybe alleviating my.
Yes, I am. You're welcome.
So all we do is ride over there from this side of town, essentially, on that one. But you have charity events. So actually, in the future, we do plan on doing this. So you can help us establish this one. But if anyone's paying attention or you're kind of in the YouTube ecosphere, Old Man Ronin, we're trying to do a ride. We're planning to do a ride now that the weather is better. I know the weather's going to kind of get nasty again. What do they call the second spring? Yeah, that's what Doug called it today.
We have
full spring.
We're in full spring right now. I was explaining this again to a friend earlier. We're in full spring right now. We have second winter, and then we'll have true spring.
Oh no, second winter is coming. And then we're going to try to do something to raise money. He was diagnosed with cancer. So he's a friend of the shop. He lives not that far away, maybe 45 minutes away. And he does his own rides, Old Man Ronin. And we have his stickers here. And he's been at a bunch of our events. He's a big supporter of our
He has a Himalayan, and I'm not sure if he currently has the Meteor, but he also has ridden the Classic.
Bought that Meteor. I think they let him borrow it originally, and then he was like, "I want."
But he's a full-on Royal Enfield.
He's a nut.
Aficionado.
Head to toe Royal Enfield gear every time I see him. So, and he even has stuff that we don't have.
That we don't have or can get.
Jersey you have. I've never seen it before. But anyway, he's a great human being, and he had an unfortunate health diagnosis, and so we're going to try to do something. We're going to try to do something, whether it's just awareness or support, or we love the guy and come ride or whatever. So I think that kind of thing. So that'll be a future one. Go ahead.
I think I have formulated my better answer for Aaron about how does Throttle Company, and this is going to sound so weird, but how does Throttle Company establish their events like Distinguished Gentleman, etc. It's if you've been to a couple of our events, particularly at the beginning, you've heard me say the phrase, "I'm so glad people actually showed up to my party."
Well, that's true.
And that was a true worry for me and for us for the first year
That's
or so.
Sort of in the back of anyone's head. I mean, even when we open our shop for the day, you sort of are thinking in the back of your head, like, could today be the day people stop coming? I don't know. And they don't, and they didn't yet. But
so my point of bringing that up was that how do we establish what events we're going to have? It's what do I want to do? Can I make it work related? Can I make it throttle related? What ride do I want to do? Yeah. Well, I want, like last year, I thought I want to challenge myself to have ridden on the first day of spring. Oh, we can make that a throttle thing.
Yeah.
I want to have, an event where for International Female Ride Day, which is May 6th, I want to do that. Well, I wonder how I can get off having to work on a Saturday morning. And that is organizing a ride that, Nicole organized it, so she's got a ride.
This is funny, but the real way is Nicole has an idea or sees an event. We share it to each other or whatever on Messenger, and I screenshot a thing and say, what about this event? What do you like this event or whatever? Or we want to go to this, or we went to an event we liked and we want to do our own version of it. We want to do something for the Distinguished Gentleman Ride, or something for International Women's Ride Day, or the One Ride, or which is a Royal Enfield thing, or springtime.
It all boils down to
it's so involved. We've been thinking about events. We had a sort of an impromptu meeting today, and we're talking about a lot of event stuff.
Oh yeah.
This is events season.
So interestingly enough, Aaron, this is involved because we were talking about it all day.
Did you see he did clarify that he actually, I don't know if this is the whole reason he brought it up, but he was saying, I wonder if you guys were going to do something for, he said Jeff, but that's Jeff. That's Old Man Ronin's name.
Old Man Ronin's name is Jeff, yes. That's helpful for other people to know.
And then he says he's down the road from him, so that is true. He's in your neck of the woods, as the kids say. And the kids say it? The old people say that.
So there's been a little bit of a, trying to decide how and when and to what degree he would like to have something with attention on him, which is the same thing that I always have a problem with.
Yeah, that's a weird one, right?
ironically to the current thing that we're doing, is I don't particularly enjoy attention specifically on me.
But this is a funny sort of nuanced thing, and yeah, every question's over involved, Aaron. But everyone is. That's just how they go, especially with us. We're verbose. But when it comes to this kind of thing, it is funny because. Yes.
We
Why?
are
I talk
verbose?
More? I talk too much? We start at the beginning of everything. Okay, let me get to the beginning. You're saying that I'm the one who talks too much. Anyway, my point here,
You said the words, not me.
The only thing I know it. The only thing I was going to say about, now you've got me derailed. Now I'm mad. Just quit. I'm quitting this. Anyway, so what was I going to say about that? I wish I remembered what you
Organizing rides.
I don't remember.
Having attention on us.
Yeah. So thank you. This was you lost it and then you saved me. So was Jeff, Old Man Ronan. So there is a funny thing when you do YouTube or when you share anything, or like we're sharing a sort of personal thing, is like you do have this sort of, I'm intentionally sharing this so that I'm not also sharing this, and it does become. Sorry, I got not emotional but congested. It does become this weird, like deciding where to draw the line. So in Jeff's specific case, it's funny because now we spent just time talking about him, but in Jeff's specific case, you got a health diagnosis, and it's like, how much do you share? How do you explain why I haven't been on the internet in a while and stuff like that? So I know that that's what you're talking about. Nicole's big joke on Road Warrior Moto's videos is you haven't done a video in a while, and people ask, and you say, I stopped because people started watching, and then people ask about your personal life, or they sort of it becomes this weird blurring of
or
the
they
line.
pass judgment on literally every component of what you're doing, and it's just I would hate to give 10% of Jeff's information out and it just become conjecture or speculation about
as people who also make content or have a version of their lives out in the public, is you sort of want to if someone did a charity ride for me, how would I feel, and you sort of be respectful of his feelings, and that, and that's paramount. That's number one, is that you want to help, and you want to help in a way that he would find positive or acceptable or whatever.
Yeah.
So anyway, that's how we feel. And I already said, as soon as I heard that, I sent him a message, and he sent me a great message back about it and stuff. So like he's just navigating the waters, and we are friends, so we'll figure it out together. But that's the answer, Aaron, and anyone else who was an Old Man Ronan fan, is that we'll figure that out.
So I feel like this could be a short hop, skip, and a jump to wrapping up.
Okay.
That the 2023 events are something that you can find on we have a Google Calendar that you can, I don't think subscribe is the right word, whatever.
Didn't we talk about this last time? Did you put it in the newsletter?
I did not.
Okay.
It is pinned at the top of our Facebook page.
Okay. That's the best way to find it.
That's the best way to find it, is that you can, and I'll double check to make sure that is still there and active, but you can essentially download. I don't know what the action is called.
I think you subscribe.
Is it
It's a calendar. It's like an iCal or whatever. It's a Google Calendar.
It's a Google Calendar that I keep generally. I take no responsibility for the errors of any events that aren't Throttle related.
Yeah, sometimes you are just guessing based on when it was last year, and then they change or something.
That is one of them, but I mean, like, sometimes I'll put on like Mama Tried just so happened to have recently happened.
Yep.
So I'll use that as an example. If Mama Tried's dates were listed wrong on their website and I put it on our calendar, it's up to you to follow their like social media to know exactly when it is.
A year ago.
Yes.
Yeah.
Because I will put things on all the way through the end of the year.
Yeah. Because it's for planning purposes. We're
It's
kind of
just for you to have something to reference to. But it is also, if you are bored from April to October, it's your own damn fault. But
that is true. If you're bored, I said this last time, but if you're bored, you're boring. Get it.
The first, so speaking of April through October, bike nights and kickstands and coffee at Throttle, consistent. That's on the calendar.
Kickstands and coffee is every Saturday, noon to 9, from April to October.
Oh, it is 9 a.m. to noon.
Sorry, what did I say, noon to 9?
Yes. That is quite a different time frame.
Well, I'm not being helpful, am I?
No. How about you just let me talk? Okay. From April to October, every Saturday is kickstands and coffee. It does start on April 1st. So I'm just going to say it out loud. I hate April Fools. So don't
do it. I'm not even going to make a joke about it.
April through October, every Saturday, 9 a.m. to noon. Come by, hang out, get coffee, Probably donuts.
Did you want to? It probably doesn't help to announce it here, but we're going to make an announcement that we are looking for a coffee sponsor or coffee partner.
Partner is, I think, a better way to put it.
Basically, the way that we see it is, if we're going to be having these events and talking about these events and having free coffee at these events, it sure wouldn't hurt to be like, this is a local coffee company, and isn't their coffee great? And they're friends of ours, etc.
Yeah.
We call it business friends.
Business friends. We like to partner with small local businesses, not necessarily that have to be small, but local businesses specifically, because we are a small local business. And
so local. Because, I mean, we're in it.
We're in it. I knew exactly what you were saying.
Because we're in it.
We're currently,
right now,
couldn't be any more local.
We're directly in the middle of the shop.
But before that season starts, March 19th is the Springtide Ride. It is not actually on the first day of spring, because the first day of spring is a Monday.
Yeah.
So it will be Sunday, March 19th. I haven't picked the exact time of day yet, but it'll probably be the noonish time, because
we're a
last
little
year,
worried about the being very cold in the morning.
Yes, last year we moved it from the morning to the afternoon because of the temperature. However, today is February 23rd, and it was 70 degrees.
Yeah, it was extremely warm. The warmest day yet.
Yeah,
of the year.
this year. So, if it's cold, just put on another layer.
Yeah.
Because if I can do it, you can do it.
If you're transitioning to another thing, I can directly address Dave, Dave123, a big fan, a commenter, a common commenter on the channel. And he asked about t-shirts. The funny thing is, if you're paying attention to the website, which we are in the process of updating, basically in the past, we were trying not to sell out of t-shirts on the website or sell a t-shirt on the website that we didn't have in stock in person, but we most likely have those t-shirts. So you could send us a message or something like that, send us an email or something, and we probably do actually have that t-shirt, because we've restocked a bunch of them.
So
but the website does not reflect.
Yeah, the website does not reflect our
Ooh, they're coming to get us.
Our actual inventory. So if you send an email to info@Throttle Company.
There was a siren. I realized that might not.
They might not hear it. They're just like
my stupid thing.
We're just gonna meerkat our way to the things that are outside.
I was joking about them coming to get us. The police, or maybe an ambulance. I don't even.
But we have large and medium in every design right now. So
I think so too. That's why I'm saying that feels like that maybe you heard the sirens. Then that person, Bruiser. But yeah, we should have the mediums and large. Those are ones that I personally was trying to stock those recently. The America's weighing everybody.
I'm going to read Aaron's comment because at least you weren't playing. Well, did you say you're playing D&D at Garage Brood, and that's why you missed that? But you will miss the Springtide Ride because you will be in the Wang of America drinking with the Swamp Wizard. And I'm going to interpret that for the rest of you. He will be at the Forgotten Angels campout in Florida. I'm trying to figure
Shade Tree?
It was Shade Tree. Yeah. That's who the Swamp Wizard is that we're
Shade
referring
Tree
to, apparently.
Surgery.
Yes. That's unfortunate. Oh, are you borrowing my Sportster? You haven't answered that question yet, Aaron.
It's mostly ready.
It's mostly ready if you are borrowing it.
It's winter. It's been wintered.
But we need to set you up with some saddlebags if you are borrowing it, because there are not hard bags on that.
We'll talk offline.
We'll talk offline if you're borrowing my bike, Aaron.
Okay, so he said I heard the cop car. On the stream.
On the thing.
I was like,
okay, great, because you're, like 40 minutes away. You can't be.
Okay, so what else did he say? Same with Meteor and 350 and Brown. There are obviously some colors that are harder to photograph, but that's interesting.
Which is funny because the root beer brown, which is a really good way. I say chocolate brown, but root beer brown is
which bike?
The Meteor.
Oh yeah, okay. You're still
the Supernova brown is actually really pretty in person.
Yeah, that's
the
a tough one to
renderings.
No, it just looks dark, muddy.
Yeah, it does. But in person and in the right amount of sun.
The one that's right next to us, which I haven't actually gone and done my paint magic on, but the Halcyon Black has a lot of sparkle in it. But
the Halcyon Green as well.
Green especially, you need to go through and polish it up, and then it's just like sparkle like a diamond. Okay, so
did you just have a sparkle
like a diamond? What?
Are you from Arkansas now?
Yeah.
Where's your jug flute?
You know what that really is? I wasn't going to say it because I think it's I think it's stupid when a saying is just unnecessarily crass. But there's what is it called? Gas Monkey Garage, the Loud and Fast guy, Richard Rollins. He said sparkles like a diamond in a goat's ass. He always says that, like a diamond in a goat's ass.
I immediately pictured something that I really can't say on.
So I just abbreviated to sparkles like a diamond, and then you can infer the rest. Am I allowed? Yeah, of course. She bica es su bica.
Did you just say, am I allowed?
It's Spanish.
I'm practically forcing you to borrow my bike, Aaron, because if you take that Rebel down to Florida again,
oh my God, he's
my
so
back
crazy.
is going to break.
He's so crazy.
But yes, you can borrow the Sportster. If you are you prepared and capable of riding a carbureted motorcycle with spoke wheels? Those are the only two things.
The whole tires thing we've established has been sorted out. But
you do have a full 4-gallon tank, which I know the Rebel doesn't have.
Is it 4?
It is
I thought it was
4.
3.5. Is it 4?
It is 4.
Sportsters famously have a small tank, but yours is
no.
the
I have
low.
I have the XL custom tank, which is 4
which is a bigger
gallons.
tank. Yeah.
Which is one of my favorite things. It's lifted, so it doesn't look like a girl bike, I've been told.
I'm gonna just let it go because
my tank is lifted.
No bike is a girl bike.
I agree. I've just been told
or
that
all bike or
because my tank is a lifted tank, it makes it look less like a girl bike.
Okay. I'm happy to wrap it up.
My alarm has now gone off.
Did it?
With the snooze as well.
Oh, so the 9 extra minutes.
Cosmic root beer. That's actually a really good description for that color.
I like that. What's the other one? It's called Diamond Brown. Speaking of diamond, maybe that's why I said the diamond. But the KZ900 is called Diamond Brown.
Yes, the KZ900.
It's a beautiful color.
I still want to say candy brown.
I mean,
but
I'm sure that's how it's made. Back then, they would do, and you still can do this, but they would do a 2-stage sort of a sparkly base coat, which is sometimes silver sparkle, and then they go over it with a candy, which when I say candy paint, and hopefully when people say this they mean this, is that it's translucent, so the base layer comes through as shiny sparkle.
But I feel like they did something with that KZ that does not translate in other brown bikes that I was very excited to see with the Supernova Brown that doesn't look one-dimensional.
Oh,
that's the difference between a good brown paint and a bad brown paint. What?
He said the word kumquat? Not on this. I thought it was, first of all, the first thing he said was like, this is a family channel. And now you're saying words like kumquat. Anyway, we are happy that you all have paid attention this long and that stuck with us in our Thursday.
I'm sorry. I'm having to confirm several comments. Because Ray's comment that all bikes are girls' bikes was held for review.
Oh, I said that, and maybe he's just repeating what I had said.
But I mean, that's definitely true, but I'm not sure why.
Oh, I do see it now. I do see it. I didn't read it, but okay. He said it after.
And then Intangible Arts, I'd pay extra for a woke ass was also held for review.
I guess because it says woke, but it also says ass.
But why does all bikes are girls' bikes get held for review for YouTube?
I don't know. I don't know because you're saying girl. I don't know. Who knows? Who knows what the review think? I appreciate it because the obviously are not our YouTube comments, but some YouTube comments can be just the cesspool of the universe.
I don't look at any of my comments on my videos that have ever been held for review.
I'm not. Oh, really? I'm not trying to open a can of worms because what I was trying to do was close the can of worms and wrap up the show. So I'm glad that we got over our initial technical issues, which was not great internet. Thank you for everyone who helped us through that one. Nicole and I, as a team, moved this connected to the internet and to the wall.
Moved our beautiful handcrafted media cart.
But it was still plugged into the camera, which is shocking that it made it and everything. And it's still plugged in. It's still working all live. So that was fun.
So I feel like that would have been a good time to do the pivot joke from Friends.
Oh, yeah.
Which I've never even seen, but I've heard
he just
referenced.
says it. He just keeps saying it, and then he says it weirder and weirder. Pivot. Anyway, it's funny. You had to be there, and by there I mean the early 2000s. Is that right? Or maybe the late 90s. Okay, so I appreciate everyone watching. We have the next 2 episodes of this scheduled out, as I had mentioned earlier. So thank you for being with us. Thank you for not having us. The worst feeling when you start one of these live streams is to have to be like, end it and fix something, and then like we lost all our people and stuff. So we didn't have to do that. And thanks to everybody for sticking along and all that stuff like that. So thank you. Did you have any more things you wanted to mention?
The biggest thing I learned tonight is that I need to work on time zones.
Really? I don't. I hope you're not feeling bad about that. I never even
have no concept of time in any capacity.
Do you know about where Rainey lives? Like if I just said like, where's Rainey from? Where would you normally think?
South.
Is it south?
That's yeah.
Well, where? You don't even know?
I have a rule. And
Mississippi?
No, not that south. I know that I'm
Kentucky?
Tennessee?
But Tennessee's east. So he's not mountain or central.
Here's
time,
the thing that
how far south?
I don't ever put in my brain.
What do you mean?
Is where someone lives.
But we just talked about Aaron. Aaron is
in my experience, Rainey lives here.
I've only seen him here.
here.
I don't know. That's kind of funny. But anyway, so I feel like I don't know. I try to imagine where people live. America's Wang obviously was mentioned earlier, so we all think fondly about that. I'm trying to. Zach is asking me questions about Fortnite, and this is not a Fortnite show.
And Thunder Bear, we don't get that amount of minutia with.
What did he
color.
say?
They appreciated the color-coded mic.
No, I do that on purpose.
Except the blue.
The blue one
muff
tore.
Is on the red, not the blue.
Oh yeah, well, but I used to do.
I get the torn one.
I used to do live sound, and so I would always think of a way of color coding things rather than like numbering things because those always get out of order. So it's just blue is blue, and then we can always turn up the blue guy or turn down the blue guy or whatever. So that is one of those things that I've always kind of. I just when you have your option of buying cables, I can buy a red and I can buy a blue, and I think we might have a orange or yellow or something down there too.
We have
I
a
didn't
yellow
mean to
one.
rhyme there. I think. Why do you want a yellow one?
Yeah.
You didn't wear your yellow shirt today because it's too warm. Tony wore yellow, and I was like, "Oh, Nicole's gonna be pissed."
Yeah.
He wore a yellow flannel, and that's your thing.
Yeah.
That is well established. That if it's not all black outfit, head to toe, then not toe, brown shoes always. Is that hand cobbled by the best cobbler in Columbus?
Look, if you need a cobbler, let me know. My guy's the shit.
Got that cobbler hookup. Okay, I am wrapping.
What was the rest
up.
of your sentence? If I'm not wearing all black,
oh, then it's yellow.
Thank you.
I basically had already said that, but I'm happy to say a yellow flannel that has a torn lapel.
Yes, the lapel on my flannel, my favorite flannel, is torn. It's character.
Don't change a thing. Okay, so thank you for sticking with us. Thank you for entertaining our use of technology earlier.
Memphis side of Mississippi.
Is he? It actually is Mississippi. That's hilarious. You had no idea.
No.
He doesn't have. I guess he kind of does have a southern accent.
No, he doesn't.
Like a tinge, like a twang. Somebody even said that in there. Maybe we're just joking. Anyway, thank you. If you want to continue harassing Nicole,
thank you, Ray. Time is an illusion.
I agree. It's a flat circle.
I cannot handle time.
If you want, I don't mean
Kills me.
harassing Nicole, but I mean if you want to follow Nicole on her adventures through the internet, which would include Rainey's interview. Is it live? It is live. I'm assuming.
I believe so.
We have no idea what time, other than he is one time zone away from us. That's all I know. So it's anywhere from 5 to 7 p.m. this Saturday.
It's either 5 or 6.
But I mean, it could be in there somewhere. I mean, like, just stay tuned. You're going to make an official announcement on Instagram on your Road Warrior?
Yeah.
Don't commit to it if you can't do it.
I'm going to do it.
I'm going to figure it out, and we're going to say when it is. You feel like now.
I feel
it's
like now.
5 his time, 6 our time.
Yes.
Okay, so that's the
But
thing.
because I have zero grasp of time, I'm going to double check that.
Okay.
Before I post it anywhere. Unless
What?
Unless he did the
Google Calendar. Is it a Google Calendar?
I put it on my calendar.
Oh, but
unless
if they do a Google Calendar, then it will change for your local time zone.
But I put it on my calendar.
That's not the same.
Unless he did a Nicole needs to be there an hour early so she's not late. Which actually, to be honest, to be completely honest,
really
people
is?
of the world, I appreciate that.
But What you want to do is the meme, the you bitch.
You betch.
All right, everyone.